the first of the week NFL strategy show. It's Monday, November 11th, 2019. Dave Loughran, Manny Laura. Of course, the strategy show presented by Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports, where you can get your $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points by signing up with us at awesemo.com. Go to the NFL tab at awesemo.com. Click on the articles link. You'll see the showdown article for tonight's Monday Night Football slate by EMAC. It is free. And the link right towards the top to sign up at Yahoo. Use the sign-up code AWESEMO, AWESEMO. We'll also throw the link to that article in the YouTube chat so you can sign up easily, get those $30 in YSRPs. Upon depositing, they are as good as cash to play and win money on the site. And, of course, to withdraw that money if you so please. And all you got to do is sign up through us. Get those YSRPs. Check out the contest they've got running for this week. A lot of great ones. $25K baller for NBA tonight. And, of course, coming up for NFL, $200,000 NFL baller, $10 to enter, $20K to first. And you've got CSV Edit. You can throw 150 lineups in there if you'd like. There's a lot to see and a lot to play at Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports, sponsor of the NFL Strategy Show. Manny, it was a rough week for me, man. Coming off a really solid week, it was a tough one for me.
Now, for you, I don't think you've seen my lineups yet. I think I had the worst player at the top of my exposures at every single position.
Why don't you tell people, because you and I do the Sunday Awesemo Fantasy Football Game Day, Sirius 210 XM 87. Join us on the weekends, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, 7 to 9 on Sunday. We have a lot of fun doing that show. But you had talked about it yesterday. I don't know that you could have gotten a more raw deal than the exposures you had yesterday. It was brutal, really brutal.
Yeah, no, it was awful. I had Drew Brees like 60% almost.
Highest implied total of any team on the slate.
Didn't throw a touchdown.
Isn't it the lowest? Wasn't it the lowest? You said the lowest score, the lowest points they've ever had in the Drew Brees era at home? At home.
And the only time they haven't scored 10 points in the Drew Brees era at home. It was, of course. I feel like, I'm starting to be really good at picking these bad players. Like, I'm on to something here, and like God's throwing me a sign, and I'm just not seeing it. I don't know. I had him. I had to pair him with two players, so because of that, I had almost 30, probably more % of Ted Ginn, who I think finished with 0. I'm not sure. One of my highest, I guess my second highest owned receiver was also AJ Brown. He had 1 point, which I guess he got at the very end of the day. My highest owned running back was David Montgomery. Did he play? I think he got 60 yards, maybe. It was just awful, man. My top 8 owned players outside of Michael Thomas didn't even reach 15 points. And most of them didn't even reach 10. It was brutal. I was drawing dead from the very beginning.
Yeah, Tom Kennedy, CEO of Awesemo.com, had a monster day in that afternoon slate. First and second in the afternoon clash. I think it's a combined 130K, if I remember correctly. So, nice. Yeah, congrats to Tom. Had that James Washington exposure in there, man. But, it was I made some of it back on the late games for the main slate, but a lot of DJ Moore and Devontae Adams was fine. But Devontae Adams could have had a huge game. He ended up having a good game, but could have had a huge game. Christian McCaffrey, I think I came in around the field on him. But, yeah, David Montgomery was brutal. I probably should have just not gone anywhere near David Johnson, but I had a little bit of him at was it, $5,700 against the Bucs, thinking that, he'd be more involved. He didn't have a positive rush until the third quarter. I probably, in hindsight, changed that. But, he came into the game without an injury designation, and things happen. But certainly a wild slate, and one where I may have been better off staying in bed because it got ugly quick. David Montgomery, man, and this, I know the Bears had 3 passing touchdowns, but Ben Broniker and Taylor Gabriel, like it was This feels like a Chicago team that you just can't go anywhere near him. 17 carries for David Montgomery, and he was just completely ineffective.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do much, and it's frustrating because I was not on the play at all during the week, right? Like coming into yesterday, I kind of had the people I wanted to play. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and the whole Stafford thing happens. The line almost like flips, and it's just like, well, now I guess I have to play Montgomery. He's going to be in a fantastic game script. No, not what I was thinking. Not what I was thinking at all. I mean, he just didn't do anything with it. It wasn't even that he was horrible. He didn't do much, man. He didn't really do anything.
He was horrible. He was horrible, dude. They had a really positive game script. Even when the thing though is, I think I mentioned this to you last night. When if you're Montgomery and you pick up 5 yards on first and second down combined, then Mitch Trubisky has to throw. It's another 3 and out. I think they had one first down in the first half. Like it's just brutal. And then Terry Cohen gets the touchdown inside the 10. There's really like there's no way right now I can place any faith in this football team. It's been super ugly. Thank God they're not on the main slate for next week. But Matt Stafford being out, it definitely made it so they didn't put any points on the board, at least not till late in the game. And it should have gone well for Chicago, but it didn't. Meanwhile, David Johnson, dude, we said it last night that basically even in seasonal leagues where you drafted this guy as a top 10 pick. Where was he going?
Yep.
Top.
Yeah, he was going in the top 5 in some cases. Right. We got him 6 or 7. Like people were high on DJ.
You got to bench him.
Yep. You have to. There's no other choice. And just going back to what we said yesterday, the volume isn't there, right? It's not even that he's apart from performing poorly, because he just doesn't look like he even cares. He's not even running full speed. It looks like he's jogging out there. He's not even getting carries. He's not getting carries. He's not getting passing down work. He's not even on the field. And he's supposedly 100% healthy. He wasn't on the injury report. I'm not buying it, man. Like, this guy is unplayable. I'd say borderline, maybe. No, he is unplayable right now if he's not even getting work. So yeah, I'm all but done with DJ.
We're gonna take a look at lineup study and see what we come across. We'll take a look at the Millie Maker. Right now, I've got the $2 million mini 100th season special, $300K to first pulled up. We'll get there in a second. But another one. What about Saquon Barkley, dude?
1 yard.
one yard. And it wasn't 1 yard on 3 carries. He had 13 carries. 13 for 1 yard. I've said all season, the Jets defense is better than they've looked because the offense has been so bad. But Barkley had 13 carries for 1 yard. And coming off a game where he had 14 carries for 28, 19 for 64 before that, 18 for 72 before that. Now you look at Barkley on the season, and he's averaging 4 yards per attempt. 4 yards per attempt. And over the last several weeks, I mean, he's averaging a whole lot less than that, right? I mean, 14 carries, 13 carries, 19 carries, 18 carries. There's been absolutely nothing to feel confident about right now when it comes to Barkley. Just pulling this up now. Let's see. So he's got 165 yards, 165 over his last 4 games on 64 attempts. So he's averaging...
That's less than 4.
2.6 yards per carry over his last 4 since returning from injury. And now there's another injury scare. This is not good for a guy that was basically the consensus number 1 overall pick in seasonal leagues.
Yeah, he hasn't had a 100-yard game since week 2 of the season. We're going into week 11 right now. He has 3 touchdowns in total this year. And that's that 1 came as a reception, if you remember, in week 8 against the Lions. He hasn't been Saquon, right? If we're talking season long, forget it. You're not getting nowhere near your first overall pick value that you thought you would get with Saquon. Now, if there's another injury scare, like, I don't know, to me, 13 attempts for 1 yard. And then the game prior against Dallas, 14 attempts for 28 yards. like something is clearly wrong with Saquon, because not even a matchup could slow him down. He's that good. And right now he can't do absolutely anything on the field. Absolutely nothing. It's a shame, because I think they came out and said he wasn't 100%. And that was just obvious. Like, I didn't need anyone to tell me that, but
Right.
I'd love to know this beforehand, right? That way we're not assuming or just expecting something from Saquon that it really isn't going to come to fruition. So that's 2 weeks in a row where it's very, very mediocre production. Despite even some catches in the passing game, he hasn't been relevant at all.
It's been bad. I think you would assume that Drew Brees bounces back next week against Tampa Bay.
I mean, listen. You can't get a better matchup than Atlanta, man. At least I thought. I don't know. So yeah, I'd also like to think that Drew Brees isn't going to go scoreless again. That the whole offense isn't going to do anything again. But who am I to say? This is a rough one, man. This is a rough week, especially when Drew Brees did all of us like that. He was the highest owned quarterback on the board. So pretty crazy.
Yeah. I would think that he's got to come through in a big way next week, and I have no problem going right back to him. Not going to let a bad week dissuade me from playing him, but this is where I think today's show is important. When we talk about breaking down last week or yesterday and what went right, what went wrong, a lot went wrong for me. I know for you as well. The thing to me that stands out is there are certain guys that you play, and after what you've seen, you really don't see. You'd be wise to avoid them until something changes. And then there are other players where you don't want to avoid them just because they had a bad game. Drew Brees, to me, is one where he is in a spot where I have no problem at all going back to him. A couple of things. First of all, Falcons were coming off a bye, and I believe so were the Saints. But Falcons coming off a bye, this was a do or die game for them. And their head coach and pretty much everything. They're not making the playoffs, but I've said this. They play New Orleans tight. And I told you, I thought it was insane that they had an implied total of like 19 points. It just was crazy. Did I see them blowing out the Saints in New Orleans? Of course not. I thought it'd be a lot more competitive, probably like a 30-28 game, but there's no way I'm not going back to Drew Brees here. However, what about Alvin Kamara? I don't obviously want to get into week 11 too much, but we need to discuss these guys after what we've seen from him. Latavius Murray had 5 carries. Alvin Kamara had 4 carries. Now, of course, he was involved in the passing game, but a lot of that came when they were playing from behind in the second half. So I can't help but wonder, number one, is Alvin Kamara at full strength? And number two, when this team starts playing in positive game script situations, are we going to see the groundwork split between Kamara and Murray? Of course, Kamara is going to be the primary passing down back. There's no question. But with how Latavius Murray has played, with how they're still positioned to easily make it into the playoffs, when they're playing with the lead, is Latavius Murray going to get more work? And are those snaps going to balance out a little bit? Because last night or yesterday, it was clear that Kamara was out there almost every down when they were playing from behind and basically gave up on running the ball. They ran the ball like 10 times yesterday.
Yeah, ridiculous. And Kamara had 4 of those. That's
crazy.
I mean, listen, when he was healthy during the season, early on in the season, he had anywhere from 13 to 17 carries. I think that's where he should live, right? Where they should give him on the ground, give him as much work as he can handle, move him out in the pass and work him that way. Like, keep the linebackers guessing. Yesterday, it was just no guessing. If Kamara was in there, he was in. He was running a route of some sort. He had 10 targets, caught 8 of them for 50. So he gave you something back, but it was another mediocre performance. That's 4 weeks in a row now, right? And I get it, he's dealing with an injury, but it just goes back to, listen, you have a solid record. You're way ahead in the division. Like, if you need to rest your star player for an extra week or 2 or whatever it is, then just do it. Like, these 4 carry games are, yeah, I get it. You were down. The game script was never in your favor, but man, that's unacceptable from a guy of Kamara's caliber, right? And if he really was healthy, if the 52-16 snap count split was because he is healthy and he's truly 100%, then you should run him way more than 4 times. That's just unacceptable. No matter the score, you should run him 4 times. So I'd like to think he's healthy because he played that many snaps, but he's not putting up Kamara type numbers. As a matter of fact, he only has 2 real weeks this season, weeks 1 and 3, where he had really good games. Outside of that, Kamara has not done anything this season.
No, and he had 10 targets. Get this. 8 of those 10 targets came in the second half. 6 of them came in the fourth quarter. He touched the ball 4 times in the first half, man. He 1 carry in the first quarter. He didn't have a target. He had 1 attempt and 0 targets in the first quarter. Second quarter, they're down 10-3. He had 1 rush and 2 receptions. Then in the third quarter, they're down by 8 points or 7 points. And he had some opportunities there. He had 1 reception, 2 targets, and a carry. But then get this. He really wasn't featured even a little bit in this offense until the fourth quarter, where he had 5 receptions, 6 targets, and 1 carry. Like I said, they really started featuring him in the fourth quarter when they were playing way behind, down by 2 scores. That's concerning to me that this dude saw 4 total looks in the first half. 4.
It's if you had Kamara on your team, there's no way you're okay with that, right? There's no way you're okay with that. Like, he is such a good player to the point where, come on, man, like, really, just 4 touches? Either something was wrong and they just really wanted to come back at the end of the game, or just really poor coaching. I can't imagine he's out there without being 100%. He's way too valuable for this team, given the cushion they have in the division.
Jonathan Haston in YouTube chat says, Taysom Hill limits Drew's ceiling. That's absurd. No, he doesn't.
I don't think so. He threw like 1 pass.
He threw 1. No, he doesn't limit Drew's ceiling even a little bit. Number 1, Drew's not a rushing quarterback. No, he literally threw 1 pass in this game. I don't see any way that he limits his ceiling. Taysom Hill has thrown 2 passes on the season. If your argument is that he's in there under center with a rushing attempt or 2 every game, it still doesn't make a difference, like, at all. He has 13 rushing attempts on the year through 9 games. Yeah. And in the 2 games that Drew's been back, he has 1 total attempt. He doesn't limit his ceiling even a little bit.
No, not at all. I've heard that so many times to where, Taysom Hill. Come on, man. It's not a Taysom Hill thing. Like, and when he catches passes, like, even worse, outside of Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, who are you really playing from there anyway, right? Like, I made the mistake of trusting Ginn yesterday, but that's a big no. I know that was probably my mistake. And if Taysom, like, for those that say, Taysom Hill caught the pass, that sucks or whatever. I mean, it's either Michael Thomas or nobody else. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not taking away that much from anyone, really. Both QB and position player. Like, he's not taking away from them.
Right. And if he is catching passes, they're almost always going to be coming from Drew Brees. So,
right.
All right. You want to take a look at some lineup study here?
Let's do it.
All right. So let's dive into it. If you guys want to maximize your screen, if you're on a computer or whatever, it might make it a little bit easier to see, or even on your phone, hit that full screen mode so we can get into it. VDog GVHSA won this, Manny, for $300,000. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here with the winning lineup in the $2 million mini 100th season special, $300,000 to first. Lamar Jackson, Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry. I love that guy, by the way, man. One of the most.
I think you're a way bigger Derrick Henry fan than I am.
I am, and I think he's phenomenal. I really do. Like, I think Derrick Henry is a pretty unheralded player, and he deserves more love.
Sure.
I mean, that passing offense is garbage, and he still manages to get it done. Kansas City's run defense sucks, but still. Right. Christian Kirk, DJ Moore, Darius Slayton, Mark Andrews, Damian Williams, and Ravens D. So he had Lamar Jackson with 1 pairing. And I did actually a lot of this. I went out of my way to set up groups and set up the limits and the rules so that I would limit Jackson's exposure before sorting, so I wouldn't get a crazy amount. And I went ahead and had him paired with exactly one of his pass catchers. I ended up getting more Marquise Brown, who was good, but Mark Andrews at that position, it was more valuable. Sure. Mark Andrews ended up having his first 2-touchdown game of his career. But nevertheless, he had a total of 260.92 fantasy points, exposure sum of 96.5%. He cashed 4 of 5 lineups, so pretty solid there. Nothing else went over 200. But when you look at this guy only played 5 lineups, Manny. Of course, the one that didn't cash had Drew Brees. 10% Aaron Jones, 11% Lamar, 10% Henry, 23% Kirk, 7% DJ Moore, 5% Slayton, 5% Andrews, 15% Williams, 8% Ravens. What's interesting about this lineup is all of these guys were pretty good plays. Like I don't think you can make an argument against any of these guys being good plays. At least I couldn't.
Yeah, no, Lamar Jackson was fine. I also paired him with either Marquise or Andrews. I thought that was great. How he landed on Slayton when it was not a stack, I think is very impressive, right? Like he didn't pair him with anyone in there. He just said, oh, I think Slayton's a good play today. I am playing Slayton. 37 points later, that obviously was a good play. Like, I don't know. He really made... He, apart from having just or being solid everywhere, playing good play, like Damon Williams, I think was fine. DJ Moore was great. Christian Kirk was a phenomenal play. Like he played really good players all around. And then on top of that, just made the right decisions in pairing Slayton with all those guys. So yeah, a really, really good lineup. And when you look at it as a whole, man, he won by 4. Like that's a pretty healthy number there. It's not like he won by 1, 2, half a point. You look at the rest of the lineups in the top 10, and they're all separated by a point or less, right? And it's all really close, a couple points. He just murked everyone. It was a perfect combination of players. And for those that think that without 150 or 100 or whatever you can't win, he played 5 lineups, cashed 4 of them, including first place. So that's pretty impressive.
It is. Someone mentioned in chat that if you're sharp, you would have known this wasn't a ceiling game from Drew Brees. Here's what I'd say. And Drew Brees wasn't even my highest owned quarterback, but I'd be curious, David, if you want to throw it in chat, the reasoning behind that. I'd be curious to know why, because this was literally the biggest outlier game of Drew Brees' career.
We mentioned it already. It's the only time ever, the lowest amount of points they've ever scored in the Drew Brees era at home. I don't know how you saw this coming, but if you did, listen, you need to be playing the lotto, my man. Why are you playing DFS, dude? Like I say it all the time. If people can actually see this, which you're lying, you did not see this. Go play the lotto and win the Powerball and get 300 million for it, right? Like it was the highest total. They're at home against probably one of the worst defenses in the league. Like every position had a great job, and you're gonna tell me you somehow saw 0 touchdowns coming from this team.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm not saying you don't have a time machine. I'm not saying you can't tell the future, but brother, there's no way you can convince me that you saw that coming. That's impossible. Now you want to tell me that because of ownership and how the tournaments were looking like and you wanted to get away from the field, maybe you faded Brees that way, sure. But if you're telling me you thought specifically they were scoring nothing, I don't believe that.
No, because Vegas, first of all, is pretty damn sharp, right? Like these NFL lines come in really close most days.
Right.
33-point implied total against an Atlanta secondary that is ranked. I mean, by the way, I'm more than happy to admit when I do stupid stuff, and it happens,
right,
plenty. But you're talking about an Atlanta defense that has been gashed through the air. I mean, absolutely hemorrhaging production to opposing passers. There wasn't much to suggest that this was a game at all that would end this way. At all. I'll give you an example too. The Atlanta Falcons were rattling off sack after sack. They were ranked 20th in pass rush coming into this game. 20th, right? In terms of coverage, Pro Football Focus had them 32nd, dead last. Run defense, they're a top 10 team. They've been a pass funnel team all year long. I don't know what the reasoning behind this isn't a ceiling game. Let's see, maybe through something in chat. I'm always willing to debate, but I don't see anything. I don't know what would make you think that this was a game where Drew Brees doesn't throw a touchdown and they're 14-point favorites, but they lose by however many points. If you wanted to say, oh, well, it wasn't a ceiling game because they'd be playing with the lead, right? Like, oh, they're going to have a big lead. I took Atlanta plus 14 yesterday, by the way. I liked Atlanta to cover, and I didn't think they'd win outright, but I thought they would cover. There's a big difference between thinking that they're going to be playing with the lead and they're going to run the ball down their throats with Latavius Murray and Alvin Kamara, and thinking that they're going to lose by, what was it, like 17 points at home and score less than 10 points. It's crazy.
Yes. Someone mentioned I guess a rational point, but one that makes no sense. Someone said, didn't he break his thumb however long ago? He played a game already, and he threw 373 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, right. I think the thumb is fine. I don't know. I don't think it was the thumb's fault. Like, what? Okay, maybe they want to find a reason as to why Drew Brees and something like this happened. Like, they just got owned. They played poorly. It was an outlier game. That's it. There's no way someone saw this coming, man. Like, not even the thumb issue. He had already thrown for almost 400 yards coming back from his thumb. That was not the problem. I don't know, man. It was one of those things that, look, it's just NFL. There was variance. It happened. Drew Brees has gotten sacked once the entire season. He got sacked 6 times yesterday.
Right? Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. He's gotten, before this game.
Right.
And he got sacked 6 times yesterday. Obviously, the most the Falcons have ever done in one game this season. Come on, a lot of things that were just like, all right, well, if it's going to be one of those type of days, then whatever, so be it. But there's no way you project that. Impossible.
In the 2 games that he had played from start to finish before yesterday, he had thrown for 370 plus yards in both of them with 5 combined touchdowns. I'll put it to you like this. If you were fading Brees again because you were worried that the game script would be out of control in terms of lopsided in favor of New Orleans, sure. But if you were to tell me, here's the way I see it. If you were to tell me that the Atlanta Falcons would score 26 points, you would want all of the Brees in the world.
Of course.
At home.
Are you kidding me? Of course. I mean, give him a green light to pass the whole game. I'll take it all day. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you this: Drew Brees threw 45 times yesterday, the most he's thrown in his 3 games he's played this season. Would you want to play Drew Brees? Of course. Mm-hmm. Who wouldn't? And then on top of that, I tell you, Atlanta. Whatever. I don't know. It's one of those things you just can't explain. Unfortunately, I was on the wrong end of that equation. So
all right. So the winner in the Big Millie, the 100th season millionaire maker, was $100 and $100K to first. Was Jones R101, Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Ronald Jones, Christian Kirk, Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, Austin Hooper, Kareem Hunt, and the Steelers defense. There was a lineup, I can't find it, that won $20,000. I'm not sure which contest it was in, where the guy played Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and the Titans defense.
Yeah, no, we talked about it yesterday. I was in complete shock. And the worst part is that it worked because the Titans actually scored 11 fantasy points.
They had a fumble recovery off Damian Williams for a touchdown. Pretty
you know, okay, so I guess someone heard that or someone saw my tweet or something, and they started, I wouldn't say arguing, but had a discussion about how they feel something about defenses. And they said that defenses are actually, like, he's fine with defenses because he feels tight end is more volatile than defense. And I was like, what? How? Like, people are losing tournaments because of defenses alone, right? Like, for those that played the Ravens and the Steelers, you were 14 points ahead of the next best defense. Do you have any idea what an advantage that is? Mm-hmm. Where like, if you play Waller over whoever or Ellison over Kelsey, I mean, like, you kind of know what you're doing, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, it makes sense what's going on here. Defense, listen, the Titans had 11 and Mahomes threw 400 yards. I don't know how that's even possible, but it is. And there is randomness in defense. Anything that has to deal with, listen, offensive touchdowns are random. Imagine defensive. It's just crazy.
And I'm all about paying down at D. Like I even had some Cardinals lineups, some Cardinals spots with Godwin in it, because we know how turnover prone Jameis Winston is, right? But all in all, $20,000. Okay, hold on. I think we got. I don't know if our boy Ben Rasa is watching. He must be, because he's the one that showed this to me yesterday. Okay, so perfect. It's the guy that came in 7th. What do you say we take a look?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so
I mean, teach me your ways, dude.
Appreciate you, Ben. All right, so he played 150 lineups, right? Patrick Mahomes, McCaffrey, Henry, Kirk, Slayton, Tyreek Hill, Doyle, Edmonds, and the Titans defense. There it is. His 2 top lineups, as a matter of fact, had Patrick Mahomes, Hill, and the Titans defense.
That's crazy.
$30,000 on that, by the way.
Wait. So like every touchdown that they threw, like what happened? I want to know like the math in this is like, well, you get all the correlation, but then you get 2 points, 3 points, or 4 points less, because every time they score a touchdown, I think you get 3 points less or something like that, depending on what range you're in and points allowed. So like the touchdown's actually worth 3 points less than what it should be. I mean, I can't imagine anyone would actually want to do that. I don't know. That's just kind of weird.
And by the way, look, I know the Titans defense was really cheap. Like I said, I'm fine getting cheap defenses in there. I really am. I prefer to go cheap at defense because they are so volatile, right? But having Mahomes and Tyreek Hill go for a combined 70 fantasy points with, what would you say, 400 and some yards?
Yeah, he had 400 some yards.
The chances of you having a team that's bringing in $20,000-$30,000 with the Titans defense against was he the top? He was one of the top quarterbacks and one of the top receivers on the day. That's crazy.
I don't understand that. Wait, so he must have made this by hand, because by default in an optimizer this would not happen.
No, not if you set it to not.
Well, you could take off the setting. You're right.
He had 150 lineups.
Well, I guess he did do this, but why? That's so crazy.
I know.
I don't get it.
The third best wide receiver and the third best quarterback of the day against the defense, which ended up having. And by the way, Kelsey was the second best wide receiver, tight end on the slate. So it's crazy how that works, man. And sometimes you just gotta shake your head and wonder. But let's see the exposures here for this guy that had Mahomes, Tyreek Hill. I mean, look, congrats, dude. It's a big day.
I mean, I wish I was in his spot, right?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
So 12% Mahomes. Wow, look at these quarterback exposures. Holy shit.
That's nuts.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 21 quarterbacks played.
That's like everyone.
Wait, it must be 20, right? Because there were only 20 teams.
So one is probably not a quarterback.
Wait. Ryan Griffin?
Ryan Griffin is, because there's 2 Ryan
Correct.
Griffins.
There's
a quarterback as well.
So he had one at least of every.
He played every quarterback.
He had every single quarterback. That's crazy.
That's insane.
I know Ben's going to appreciate this. I don't know if you looked into this part yet, Ben, but yeah, he had every single quarterback on the slate. What do you say? This is fun stuff. All right.
So he's like rooting for everyone.
Yeah. Running backs. He had basically just as many quarterbacks as he had running backs. 66% McCaffrey, 44% Montgomery, 20. Oh my God.
How did he win?
Oh my God. Look at the highest exposed players. 20 or McCaffrey, Montgomery, Barkley, Mack.
Yo, he also played Andy Dalton. What? This is a fluke. This guy's a cheater. What?
Yeah,
Yo,
Andy
listen.
Dalton.
You know how hard I try in NFL,
Yeah.
and I'm losing. And this guy,
Oh man, he had Andy Dalton with the 150 lineups. Wow.
are you kidding me?
Wow. And somehow still had Ryan Finley.
What is this guy doing?
Wait. I guess he was projecting Finley and Dalton and didn't remove one of them.
What the heck is this, dude?
Wow. That
guy yesterday went to his significant other and said, today I murked it. I won 20,000.
30.
I'm so 30,000. I'm so good at this thing. I want to put in my 2 weeks. This guy, bro. I can't even, man.
Oh man. To be fair, he played $15,000 in entries, but
what?
Yeah, he maxed out the 100, dude. Yeah.
Yo, this guy is the dumbest smart person I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. I hope for those of you guys that are watching this right now, you're enjoying this as much as we are, because this is insane, right? John Emanuel says player pool diversity. Yeah, that's one way to put it, fella.
What on earth am I looking at, man?
That's one way to put it. I mean, diversifying by playing a quarterback that was just benched. I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah. Patrick says run better, friends. You're damn right. All right. Wide receivers. Let's see. So here's where the money was made, right? He was his highest owned receivers: Kirk, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Golden Tate, Michael Thomas. There you go.
My goodness.
Right there. That's it.
That's the best 5 you could possibly have.
That's it. Tight ends: Gesicki, 31%. Amazing. Travis Kelce.
This just pissed me off even more. This guy had no business being positive.
No. I mean, every single quarterback and a quarterback that didn't start.
That sounds awful. That sounds so bad.
Crazy. I mean,
he plays like Nick Boyle and Dawson Knox and stuff, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, wow. Gus Edwards. Anything else wild in here? It's wow.
So sad.
Wow. Titans, yeah, 5% Titans, 16% Bears. Well, there you have it, man. That might be the best lineup study we've ever done.
I want to say he's smart, but I also want to say he is not the brightest crayon in the crayon box. He is. This is amazing. Listen, when you have it made out, and today is your day, there is nothing that's going to stop it from being your day. I'm so convinced.
You're right.
I never believe in all those sayings that say like, the energy and the power of the universe and whatever, the stars are aligned for brother. You played people that didn't even play.
I know,
you
dude.
made money today.
I know.
I'm actually trying. It's
crazy. It's crazy. Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate you, man. We got super chat set up now, so we accept. I don't like to call them tips. It sounds silly, but
right.
Donations. It's all of it's really greatly appreciated, and appreciate all you guys tuning in every week. You can hit that like button too if you enjoy the show and want to help support us at Awesemo. Thumbs up and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and share the videos with your friends, people family. It definitely helps us out, so we are grateful. It's crazy though, man. This is just.
And where does he get 15,000 from? Like you didn't get it playing DFS that way.
I heard he got his 15,000 from last week when he played Cam Newton.
This guy is something else. You know what? Wherever you are, Laz gets fit. You workout guy. I'll definitely take some personal lessons with you. I just want to see what's going through his brain. That's all.
People are talking about, he spent 15K, only made 15,000. Bro, he profited 15,000 and played two quarterbacks from the same team. I don't care if that wasn't the winning lineup. The lineup that gave him the lineup that he won with had the defense against his quarterback and wide receiver.
Like, he had so many mistakes. It's not just one mistake. It's not just the quarterback.
Oh, is that deflating shit or what?
Oh, come on, man. Like, I'm here grinding, dude, man. Like, I'm here grinding. What is this, man? I'm
so glad Ben found this.
Laz, all right, Laz. I guess you deserve it, buddy.
Truly
I guess
incredible.
You deserve it.
Man, there's a lot of lineups with Mahomes and the Titans D. Crazy.
What? Why? How is that even a thing?
I don't know. I wish I did, but I don't know. You cannot make that up. I wish we could bring Ben on to this show right now. For those of you who don't know, as you all should, Jazz Raz, Ben Rasa, excellent player, and someone that will talk to you about every single sport, literally. So, holy shit, man.
God damn it. That's pretty good, man. Congratulations, Laz. Yesterday was your day.
Crazy. All right. Well, take a look at one more here. What do you want to pull up? Give me a tournament to pull up.
Let's look at some of the high stakes, like really high stakes, maybe like a single entry, so maybe the 30,000, like the luxury box or something.
You want to do the luxury box? All right. There's a heavy hitter, but that's only what? 4 entries.
Yeah, that's a few entries only.
Want to do the nosebleed section? 15?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right. 10,600 to enter. Or we could pull up. Let me see if I can pull up they still do the Thunderdome, right? Do they call it that, or they call it something else? Thunderdome. Here we go.
I don't know. The luxury box is 3K, 3,100. So
okay, let's do the luxury box.
Yeah, we could do that one.
Is there a way I can search for a contest, or do you just?
I just sorted by prize pool.
That's what I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's up there.
All right, I got it. So we got the luxury box, 134 entries. Our boy Ben Rasa came up towards the top last week. I believe it was this one. Maybe it was the $1,500 one. Can't remember, but he had a good day. All right, Weefies, 206 fantasy points.
Oh, that was a massive game stack. Wow.
All right, so $100,000, 206.4. Mahomes, Montgomery, Henry, A.J. Brown with the 2, and Montgomery. Holy shit. Kirk, Hill, Kelsey, Jones, and the Bears defense. So check this out, man. He had Montgomery and Brown and the Bears combined for like 18 total fantasy points.
And still scored 200 and still won the tournament for 100K.
Crazy.
I also had some zeros, some 5s, and some 2s, except I was nowhere near 200. This doesn't seem fair. Rigged.
I mean, that's insane.
And it's weird because we never see 5-man stacks anymore, right? Like, it's so weird, or it's so rare to see that nowadays, especially considering how often they haven't performed, right? Like, having Mahomes to Tyreek and Kelsey plus Henry plus Brown that's a lot from one game, right? And if you kind of just look at how it played out, like, I like to think there's some negative correlation between Henry and Brown. They both can't score at the same time, right? And you saw it. Henry had all the yards, all the touchdowns. Brown had nothing. So the lineup could have even been better if he kind of went away from something like that. I'd probably do, if I were to ever recommend 5, it'd be maybe 2 pass catchers, right? Where it's not either Henry or Brown, to where, if like for example, if the Tannehill guys get there with Brown and Humphreys, you had Brown and Humphreys there, so it kind of makes sense. Where Henry, it's impossible for Brown to ever benefit from something like that, I think.
Yeah. And in these contests, though, you don't need to hit on everyone in order to have a strong performance,
sure, of course.
at all. TJL, oh, wait, hold on. This is our guy right here. Laz gets fit.
Oh, that's him again.
with 189.56. Let's go.
Yo, this guy probably made like he probably made like a good 30, 40, 50,000 yesterday.
All right.
If he joined this with everything.
Yeah, he had to. If he won 10,000 profit. Okay. So he lost one entry, won another. So profited what? 3,000 or so on this one. Fitzpatrick, McCaffrey, Barkley, Kirk, DJ Moore, Darius Slayton, Mike Gesicki, Ronald Jones, and the Colts.
He's doing this in every lineup on purpose? The whole defense against his quarterback?
Oh, my God, he played his defense against his stack.
He's doing it on purpose.
Oh, my God.
He knows something we don't know. Maybe, you know what? I'm starting to think we are the dumb ones here. Well, he's doing this on purpose.
So I'm assuming it's the thinking that I'm going to play the defense and I'm going to hope that they get a couple big turnovers and then Fitzpatrick will be playing from behind and they'll have to throw the ball.
I mean, but okay, you want 300 yards, you want multiple scores. Like that's an automatic, like you lost the 10 initial points you start with from the Colts with that. You know what I mean? Like
crazy.
I don't know, man. That's just weird, dude. This guy's a stud. Yo, Laz, where are you? Well, the real Laz gets fit. Please stand up, dude.
I feel like from now on, our Monday show, with the one that you and I do right now, every Monday should just be Find Laz Gets Fit on Fantasy Cruncher Lineup Study and make an hour-long show about it.
This is bizarre, dude. It's like the Dolphins score, yes. The Colts score, yes. Dolphins score, yes. Every score, I guess, is fine here. So I don't know how this works.
Here's the thought process. Here, I'm going to get inside of Laz's head.
Sure.
Okay? Because, mind you, he didn't run it back with anyone from the Colts outside of the defense, right? So either he's honestly just not thinking anything. I won't use the word rational, but the only way I think he could reason this is, all right, Colts defense will be the reason that they put up numbers. The offense, or the
like
Colts
who
defense,
on earth ever thinks that?
Well, what else would it be? The only other thing you could consider is the Colts defense puts them on top, gets a couple turnovers, gets a defensive touchdown or so, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick and company have to drive downfield, playing from behind and throw the football. There's no Marlon Mack, there's no Zach Pascal, there's nothing in this lineup outside of the Colts defense paired with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Mike Gesicki.
Okay, I have a question. You're watching the game if you're Laz. I'm Laz with a Budweiser on my couch. I see a 3rd and 5, 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line for the Dolphins, and a sack happens. Who are you rooting for?
Right.
Honest question. I don't know. Third and goal from the 5. You have Ryan Fitzpatrick. A sack happens. Now what? Right. What are you rooting for?
Like basically, in a spot like this, here's what it is. You know what it is? If you're in hindsight, right, you can look at this and be like, hey, I see why it worked. Here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. I know, Sam, I didn't expect this either. Here's the problem with this. You need everything to go perfectly. Like, you're saying you need the defense to put up these crazy numbers, right? And that, like, you know how you try and tell a story for the showdown slates?
Yeah.
Congrats, by the way, Chris.
Congrats, Chris.
For the showdown slates, you're trying to tell a story about what's going to happen. He's talking about a 10-game slate where the story he wants to tell is the defense is the reason they're winning. The offense does nothing, and the opposing team has to come back. Like, do you know how perfectly things have to go for that to work?
This guy has to be either incredibly smart or the luckiest person I've ever seen in my life. I don't get this. I have to be missing something because he's doing this on purpose.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Who knows? By the way, he played a Tannehill lineup.
Yes, he did. His two lineups in the luxury box. He didn't play
Kansas City.
were Ryan Fitzpatrick and Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill, McCaffrey, Barkley, DJ Moore, Slayton, Demaryius Thomas, Mike Gesicki.
Dude, he played Slayton in both lineups. I need to find this guy.
Yeah, we need to bring
I
him on.
honestly need to find this
We
guy.
got to bring him on the show.
This is amazing.
Yeah, $100 to anyone that can find Laz and get us in touch with him.
Yeah, please.
We'll split it 50 each, Manny.
I'll do it, dude. This guy's insane.
Holy shit. Oh, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. And the crazy thing is, like, it cashed.
It cashed really well.
Like, people do stuff like this. You just don't see it. You know, people make these decisions.
Yeah, they're at the bottom of the tournament.
Right. Wow. Anyway, before we head out, let's take a look at the perfect lineup. We do this every day. You can check it out, linestarapp.com. And by the way, awesemo.com/join is where you get 50% off your first month of Awesemo Plus membership. Just use the sign-up code NFL Strategy, all one word. Get 50% off your first month. Ownership projections, player projections, top stack tool, Slack chat, lineup builder, fantasy cruncher add-on, so much more. Awesemo.com/join. Check it all out there and scroll to the bottom of that page if you're unfamiliar with what we have to offer, and you can check out the video tutorials on all of our most popular tools. NFL Strategy will get you 50% off your first month. We also have a giveaway today for Monday Night Football. If you haven't jumped in there yet, what are you waiting for? Go to Twitter and go to @awesemo_com. You'll see the pinned tweet. And in that pinned tweet, you will see a giveaway for tonight's game. All you got to do is guess the player that scores the most fantasy points in tonight's game between the Seahawks and Niners. You don't have to be right. You could be completely wrong and still win. Just retweet, like, and reply to this tweet and follow both of our handles at awesemo_com and awesemo NFL. Retweet, like, and reply with your answer. Follow both of those handles and get entered to win a free Awesemo NFL pass for the rest of the season. Pretty cool prize and a pretty cool giveaway over there at awesemo_com. While you're at it, follow Manny and myself on Twitter at MLaura right under his head, and me at Laffy_D, LOUGHY_D. We appreciate the support. All right, Manny. So here we, actually, hold on a second. Someone just said in Slack chat, check if Laz did this last week real quick. Should we do it? Should we do it real fast?
Someone already did. They said he did profit last week too.
Really? Really?
Yes.
Okay, hold on a second. Which one should I pull up? I guess he maxed out the millie, right? So I'm sure
I guess
he did it in this millie. While this loads, because my computer takes a while. Perfect lineup. Daniel Jones, Derrick Henry, Ronald Jones, Tyreek Hill, Christian Kirk, Michael Thomas, Mark Andrews, Darius Slayton, and the Steelers. It's not that crazy of a lineup, actually.
I mean, Slayton by himself, like that's such a good play, man. If you really landed there
Daniel
like that,
Jones was a QB1 here, or in the optimal.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah, 287 fantasy points.
I'm searching for this last guy in week 9. Hold up.
Okay.
Laz gets fit. There he is. Yep. Profited $2,000 in the Millie Maker. This guy is amazing. Unbelievable. Who did Russell Wilson play last week?
Russell Wilson played Tampa.
All right. Would have scared me. No. He had almost Steelers in every single lineup. This guy just has a time machine. The Steelers scored almost 20. What? This guy is something else, dude.
Yeah.
He did play every quarterback again. This guy. Oh,
did he
man.
Really?
Yeah. See, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Were there 8 games? He almost played every quarterback.
There were 10 games.
All right, so he missed out on a couple, but that's pretty nuts.
Truly insane. I feel like we need to get him on and just ask him what he's doing so we can all learn how to do it ourselves.
Totally agree.
Right?
This guy's insane.
That's what we need to do. By the way, whenever I go to search, it doesn't pop up here, so I'm just pulling it up real quick. He said week 9 Wildcat Circus Sideshow. Let me just pull this up real fast.
Yeah. This is so crazy.
I mean, I don't know what to say. You will very seldom see something like this, right? Very, very rarely will you see something this wild. Where are
How do
you?
you even play everyone?
You just do.
That's pretty crazy.
The search wouldn't work, but I think I got him right here. I just want to pull it up so everyone else can see.
Yeah, of course.
Laz gets fit. 86 entries. He profited 21.34. So, top lineup was 65th place. He had 2 top 100s.
Yeah, this guy's insane. And that one is also 104th place and 174th place.
Who did the Steelers play?
No, I don't remember. Steelers schedule. They played. Who did they just play? They just played the Colts. No, they played the Colts before.
The Colts last week. Okay.
Yeah.
So no defense stack here. Russell Wilson. Yeah. DJ Moore, Lockett, Marvin Jones. Let's see the exposures, and then we'll get out of here for the day. I know you.
Dude, man, you go to. Okay, so you go to his exposures and you click Jack Doyle, and he had 9 Jack Doyles, 7 of them with the Steelers.
Really?
This guy's nuts. He doesn't care about that.
Huh? Maybe you
like
don't
if
need
you just
to.
randomly click on these Colts players.
Maybe we just learned something, Manny.
I mean, I don't know how this is. Marlon Mack, defense Steelers. This is nuts, man. I don't get it.
I mean, Anthony Miller, Hunter Renfrow, Albert Wilson, Duke Williams, Isaiah McKenzie. Very low exposure to them, but wow. Wow, man. That is something.
This is crazy, dude.
That is something. It's funny though, because he had a way smaller player pool last week. 65% Steelers defense too.
Hey.
I don't know, man.
Let me run good, please.
Laz gets lit. This dude, unbelievable. That's just crazy. I can't believe we found this. Like,
I know. It actually makes no sense. This guy's insanely good somehow.
I feel like we've discovered something, that will never be seen again. I don't know. One more here. Somebody said pull up the Wildcat for Laz and see what we have. Oh my God, he won it.
He won?
He won the Wildcat, 200,000. Holy shit. He won it last week.
Yeah, all right. We for sure we need to find this guy. He did win. Whoa.
Russell Wilson, Jalen Samuels, Le'Veon Bell, DK Metcalf, Devontae Parker, Tyler Lockett, Zach Ertz, Josh Jacobs, and the Steelers. He won it.
He won this damn thing.
Oh. Quarterback with 2 receivers.
Hey, congratulations, I guess. I don't know how that works, but he is this. We need to bring this guy on. I'm gonna make it my priority to find this cat.
Someone has to find him. We got to get him on. We'll try and do it for next week. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll be back with you next Monday. Manny, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, Adam Laura on Twitter. You already mentioned it. Twitch.tv/MLaura. I go live usually right after this, and all my work is on Fantasy Cruncher, helping you guys out. So that's a lot of fun.
All right. Been a lot of fun. Thanks as always for hanging out. Before you head out, hit that thumbs up. Help support us here at awesomeo.com. Unbelievable, man. Hats off to Laz Gets Fit. Find this guy and bring him to us. We'll see you guys back here next time on the NFL Strategy Show. Sal Vetri and myself tomorrow breaking down a first look at week 1. See you soon.